So one of the efforts this state has gone through is trying to get mail-in ballots, see if that would increase participation, voting rates. But after we just had our race on the 3rd Congressional District in particular, we're starting to see how that worked. And it turns out thousands and thousands of ballots were not appropriately marked, or lots of various things happened. Give your analysis of that. Is this working? Is it a work in progress? What's going on?
From my observation, there is a learning curve. And, Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox has come out to say it directly. His office is in charge of this. There's definitely a learning curve. We've got to see what people are going to do wrong, educate them better, and then try again. Because unfortunately, people just are not going to the polls as they used to. They just don't have time for that. There's discussions to change, maybe do it on the weekend, but currently it's on a Tuesday. If you have a mail-in ballot, if you are thinking about it and you want to vote, you can do it ahead of time and you can have it taken care of. If you have to go to the polls and that's your only option, people are just going to say, no, thank you. I'm too busy driving carpool and picking up my kids to worry about voting. But if I have that option, I can do it. There were a lot of problems. They'll be able to better educate next time around because they know what those problems are. So I think it's a beautiful thing and a beautiful opportunity for people.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yep. The idea is good. We want voter participation to significantly increase. The problem occurred only in one county. We have 29 counties. It was Utah County this time around, which there was difficulty. We can learn from our mistakes, but the goal is a good goal to be able to get people involved and do the basic minimum action of good citizenship, and that is to vote.
The two problems that Utah County had, because it was their first time using mail-in ballots, is you need to sign an affidavit that it's yourself, and the signature needs to match your signature on record. So you can't have your spouse or anyone else sign it for you. You actually have to sign it yourself.
And they really check on that because I received a phone call to make sure that I was, they do.
Second, they didn't turn it in time. And this is the interesting part. The elections officials want you to mail in your ballot early. They want you to make up your mind early in the process and mail it in. But there is last minute information that can happen in a race that may change your mind. If you're not totally decided, lots of voters reasonably will wait. And it creates this conundrum where some of them might put it in the mail a little too late, which is why there needs to be places to drop them off. Because if you want to wait, you should have the right to wait.
Well, there is. You could go to a polling location on the day of and drop it off if you want to. So there is that option. But I think a lot of it is just education. It's a great idea.
We
just need to teach
can.
people how to do it. And luckily, with the 3rd District, the margin of victory for John Curtis was so large that due to the issues, that didn't necessarily mess up the results. So this was a great opportunity to kind of learn and see what we need to do better to make this great opportunity more effective in the future.
I was happy to see that only 10 votes came from people who were no longer alive.
Which was positive, yeah.
That's positive. Positive also. The victor in the particular race has got some committee assignments this week. So John Curtis has been put on the House Foreign Affairs and the Small Business Committee. Two very interesting assignments for the newest, most freshman member of Congress, right? So what do you make of these assignments, Tim?
Well, it's not the committee assignment that he wanted, but it's the committee assignment that he was assigned to. His background is really not all that extensive in terms of global issues, but he spent some time in Taiwan, and so and he's acquainted with China, and he's now the rookie member of that particular committee. But the important thing is he's in Congress now. And the next Congress, if he's elected to a full term, is that potentially he can shift to other committees.
I do like the small business idea, though, because if you look at his background, he's had businesses himself. And then if you look at Provo, from when he started as the mayor to now as he's exiting, such a huge shift. If you just drive down Center Street in Provo, back when I was at BYU, it was a ghost town. Really not so great and such a great potential. But if you go down there now, you're going to see thriving businesses, and most of them are small businesses started by Provo locals that are pretty much successful. So obviously, he knows a thing or two about how to have a successful small business.
Probably get onto those expertise right away. It has something to do with that particular assignment.
This helps to explain why he was elected. He ran so strongly in Utah County and with Provo. It was because of job performance.
Very good. Thank you for your analysis on these two issues.